Returning to the multiverse of madness that is the Gundam franchise.
What the fuck kind of game is that?
Why not talk about everybody's favorite tomato sauce blender? As the literal rebuild, as the name states, this is the product of Aerial getting her ass whipped and rebuilt by a gaslighter of a mother, resulting in this girl of a mech peeling off all traces of a young girl and becoming a full-fledged woman, signifying that lollies are out and MILFs are in. Before diving in, we should firstly observe a face. All traces that were the okawaii, skida, are all gone and replaced with a fierce design, portraying the shift in tone from a happy slice of life to a full-fledged war story. The same applies to the core of the Gundam, as the brightly colored feminine build previously seen has now been retrofitted with your common military utilitarian build, as the yellow has been completely removed and replaced with a dark blue and white blend. But a constant in this variable consumed society that we live in is the hips, as they retain the sleek aesthetic in maintaining Aerial's femininity. When viewing the arms, they're relatively identical to the OG Aerial, with the only difference being the change in colors regarding the gambit parts and shoulders. Talking about the legs, the thighs have to be thinner here, as the bulky armor of the OG Aerial has been replaced with a thinner component for extra mobility. The other difference are the feet, as the high-heel-esque aesthetic seen in the OG Aerial has been replaced with that seen in your typical design as portrayed through other Gundams, adding to the utilitarian military design, less waifu and more kaiju. A big difference regarding the rebuild design is the implementation of an extra thruster, or in short, a jetpack. Compared to the run-of-the-mill backpack, the jetpack is composed of 4 separate pieces all attached to a center that happens to be carved in. The top pieces are 2 blue bricks with a gimmick regarding the yellow psycho frame parts being able to stick out. The 2 attachments below are holders for the gambit components, making them seem very familiar. When regarding the accessories that the Gundam Aerial rebuild is accompanied by...
What the fuck?
Extra face? Nope. This is Matt. Extra hands. DLC, Gunpla nerds. 2 beam sabers seen with every other mobile suit. And probably the biggest difference is the beam rifle, which seems more sophisticated and bulky compared to the OG. Just like seeing the transition from the M16 rifle to the M4. And the beam rifle can be used for mid to long range combat for quickly dispatching hostiles in any pose you Gunpla maniacs desire. But this rifle isn't just a reskin, as the lack of firepower inherent in a rifle can be resolved through the glory that is the Gunbit rifle. the gunbit rifle that acts as the mobile Death Star capable of disintegrating anything within the vicinity of the beam. But due to the immense firepower, the rifle must be held at all times by two hands, probably due to the immense recoil each blast releases.
Why do you come here?
Now, if there's an offensive weapon, defensive weapons must also be included in order for an added survivability, something the Korean military would hardly understand.
한다. 그리고 자살용으로 권총 갖고 있다. 또는 내 부하가 명령 안 따를 때 그 부하를 죽이기 위해서 권총을 갖고 있다. What the fuck kind of 개념 is that?
Shoehorn transformation sequence! And here's the Gunbit shield, which acts more or less the same to the OG shield, able to deflect anything from blaster fire to literal lightsabers, making it the perfect defense weapon against both mechs and kaijus. When regarding Aerial's build, height-wise, she is more or less similar to the OG versions, standing at 14 centimeters or 5.5 inches tall, which is relatively fair for a high grade. Here's the high grade Aerial rebuild next to Gunpla, Hiya Toys, Star Wars Black Series, Figma, and the high-grade OG Aerial. When discussing the range of posability regarding the rebuild, she's more or less identical to the OG, minus one improvement: the head can move freely. Superb shoulder lift, supreme shoulder movement, literal bicep movement, superb elbow bend, hand movement of course. Now, if you've seen the OG Aerial, she was incapable of conducting a stomach crouch. However, the rebuild, due to the evolution in Gunpla technology, is able to conduct a full bend. The waist movement would make a chiropractor proud. Leg split would mesmerize any man. Extreme knee bend, and decent foot bend. What is there left to say? The high-grade Gundam Aerial rebuild portrays the constant evolution of the Gunpla line, as the already fantastic build that was the high-grade Gundam Aerial has been improved, with the former issues such as the flimsy pieces being alleviated, alongside adding articulation and pieces previously unavailable in the OG build. The only complaint I have is the lack of accessories compared to the OG Aerial, as the effect pieces are absent, alongside the tomato paste blender that can only be obtained through DLC. And while such issues can't be ignored, the rebuild Aerial is still a great kit, and as a 27-year-old virgin but a Gunpla whore, I would definitely recommend this kit and give it a ranking of A.